My name is Art Rizvi. I'm the mayor of the city of Edwardsville, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the West End Service Station grand opening today. We would really like to set the tone for this event off right from the start. Please enjoy a performance by Craig Becker, the founder and creative director of the Alumni Players, which along with the Friends of the Wildie put on the Get Your Kicks on Route 66 musical extravaganza for a sold-out crowd last night, Thursday, at the Wildie Theater. He's also accompanied by local musician Butch Moore. I hope you enjoy the performance.
Thank you, Mayor. And good morning, everybody. This is such a great morning for Edwardsville, and I'm so pleased to be able to share some of it with you this morning. And just to remind everybody that Route 66, it's not a thing, it's really an essence, and it's about the people and the stories and the adventures along the way. And one of my goals, and I hope that this beautiful new edifice will help reinforce that, it's like we have to remember the stories of Route 66. It is so much a part of Edwardsville's history and the history of our country, and it was integral to the actual growth and boom of Edwardsville during its heyday. And that fact that we need to remember that is so important. So thanks to Corey and Great Rivers and Routes and SJ and our mayor for making this happen, and thanks for being here this morning. So let's get going. Butch? If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA. More than 2,000 miles along the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Now you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. If you get hip to my timely tip, when you take that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. Now, exactly 8 miles north up this famous highway, there's a four-way stop with a red flashing light. And on one corner is a tavern called the Tourist Haven. So, it was there back in 1938 when my mom was a 21-year-old waitress and my dad was a 29-year-old truck driving frequent customer. So, according to family legend, after a respectable courtship, he proposed. And she replied with 2 conditions. 1, give up your life on the open highway. And 2, get rid of Zeke, a nasty, ill-tempered monkey that he had won in what was apparently a very low-stakes poker game. Well, without much hesitation, he said I will, she said I do, and the rest, as they say, is history. You go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. If you get hip to my timely tip, when you take that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Yeah! Thank you. Thank you. Much more, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you both for that amazing performance. That was incredible. Thank you. Thank you both. It's a joy to be with all of you today, particularly on the weekend of the 25th anniversary of the Edwardsville Route 66 Festival, which we're excited about. To say we are pumped is an understatement. Seeing this piece of Route 66 Americana return to its service station roots, while also evolving into a place to learn, visit, and also to have an open road adventure. This place is going to be a thrill for a lot of people, so we're really excited. There's going to be visitors from near and far to check out the West End service station, which has a lot to offer, as you can see. The site is small, but it has a rich narrative about Edwardsville in every square foot. Without a doubt, this station would have been largely lost to history had it not been for the efforts of the city, Great Rivers and Route Tourism Bureau, and in particular, the West End station champions, such as Alderman S.J. Morrison, which is here, and Alderman Jack Burns. But let's make no mistake about it. This building required more than a tune-up. This was a full-service overhaul. To that end, let me acknowledge our mechanics who have tinkered under the hood of this project, which is called the West End Service Station. They got it back up and running since we purchased this building last summer. Earlier I mentioned S.J. Morrison. He deserves much of the credit for encouraging the city to pursue this project. He remained involved every step of the way, helping to craft the look and the details of the station, down to writing much of what you see on the walls with others. It's likewise been a labor of love for Jack Burns, who has supported and participated in the months of brainstorming sessions to get us to this point. Let me assure you that Jack is revved up. Great Rivers and Routes, our partner in promoting what is an incredible place in Edwardsville. He helps us promote Edwardsville, where you live, you work, and you play, and he has been a Route 66 champion in securing the grants that has allowed us to purchase, renovate, and open the West End service station. So, thank you. Those funds also brought us the Route 66 postcard mural downtown, I hope you've seen it, and the Instagram-worthy monument, which is just right down the road right there if you haven't seen it. So if you want to take a shot, throw it on Instagram, promote it, we'd appreciate it, because it's all branding our great city. So we're excited about that. Great Rivers and Routes also will be staffing this West End service station to make it even a better experience for our visitors. We're extremely grateful for Great Rivers and Routes President and CEO Corey Jobe and his staff for everything they've done for the city. Corey has worked closely with our Community and Economic Developer Coordinator, James Arnold, who has kept up with every twist and turn that's been needed to keep the project moving in the right direction and keeping us on track. Then there's architect Jamie Henderson, who's back there, who painstakingly worked with the incomparable Matt Towle, the city's superintendent of streets and fleet, to turn back the hands of time and convert this service station, turned dental office, back into an environment that evolves a vintage vibe. So we're so excited for that. And then Sherry Hickman as well of Creative Options Graphic Design is the artist behind the amazing logos and interior work that tell the story of the station and Route 66 in Edwardsville from the ceiling to the floor. So thank you, Sherry. And also the fantastic team of Millennium Construction. Are they here? Where are they at? They really did a great job. They knocked it out of the park. We worked with them before and we knew they would be up to the task, so thank you as well. But we also relied on the expertise of many of our wonderful keepers of history in the city of Edwardsville. That includes everyone at the Madison County Historical Society, our own Historical Preservation Commission, and Cheryl Eicher Jett, otherwise known as the Route 66 Chick. And many of the things on display today belongs to Catherine Biarkis, a longtime Historical Preservation Commission member and current Tourism Advisory Committee member. So we're very grateful for all of those efforts. As you can see, it took a team to accomplish this. I want to thank our Public Works Director, Eric Williams, for his support and that of his staff, including Assistant Engineer David Serco, who was responsible for securing our cherry red gas pumps out there. That really sets the place off, so it really ties it in. Thank you for your efforts with that. And we'd also like to thank our Parks Director, Nate Tingley, who's standing right out there, and his staff. This station now has officially joined the ranks of our incredible parks property. So we're excited for you to take care of it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Nate. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the talents and time of Norm Droll, a valued member of our Wildey Theater team, and John Cunningham, part of the IT and communications staff, who has been working very hard in making these grand opening events go smoothly, and our IT director, Devin Gray, and Mike Mills, our network and desktop support engineer, who have equipped this station with security features that I'm sure weren't around in the Route 66 heyday. So we're very appreciative for that as well. And our own fire chief, James Whiteford, prepared some of the wood that you see. He's a woodworker that is used on the shelving here at the West End Station. And I would also like to thank a lot of people. Our communications coordinator, Kathy Hensley, who's been involved in promoting the West End Service Station to make sure that everyone is excited about it and is communicated about just the progression and how everything has been moved forward. So thank you, Kathy. Let me also say thank you and welcome everyone who's here today, the citizens who are here for the grand opening. We have the Edwardsville Glen Carbon Chamber of Commerce and members of our business community, the Great Rivers and Routes Board, and some residents. Forgive me if I've missed anybody in the crowd. We're thrilled to have all of you here. I want to acknowledge a few guests, including our region's elected officials. Your ongoing support of Edwardsville is amazing. State Senator Erica Harris, State Senator Jason Plummer, State Rep Katie Stewart, State Rep Amy Ellick, State Rep Charlie Meyer, Madison County Board Chairman Kurt Prenzler, Madison County Executive Dave Tanzia, and the Illinois Route 66 Scenic Byway Casey Claypool. Thank you all for being here today and being a part of the West End Station. I'd like to next welcome to the podium Corey Job, our Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau partner. I'll continue with our service station theme when I tell you that Corey was the fuel that got this project on the road.
Mayor, good morning. I don't have any of those great puns or anecdotes, but good morning. Thank you, Mayor Risavi. On behalf of our board of directors and staff, it is really my pleasure to join all of you today to really celebrate something that's pretty remarkable. When SJ called me, I think last spring, and said the state was buying this corner, it was just a perfect timing because there was a grant available from the state of Illinois. I think we had about a couple of weeks to get the grant in. And so what the result is what we're here today. And after awarding a $460,000 grant from the Bureau, through the Illinois Office of Tourism and the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, what you see today is saving a piece of history of Route 66 for future generations to enjoy. I want to again echo what the mayor said. I want to publicly thank S.J. Morrison for his passion and determination. Alderman Jack Burns, I said to Jack and S.J. this morning, what are we going to do every other Friday now? Because we were meeting most every other Friday. As the mayor said, James Arnold, the Economic Development Director for the city, he kept us all on task, he kept us on time. Matt Tall, really a great team effort. And I've gotten to meet a really great friend that I've drug into more projects that we're involved in the region, Jamie Henderson. I didn't know Jamie before this project took place, and now I've got Jamie and his team involved in more projects, and we've forged a wonderful relationship. So this was no small feat to get this done. The state has, it's been a difficult time processing grants, and all the funds that are coming through the state of Illinois. But this really couldn't have been possible without leadership with State Representative Katie Stewart and others. 2 years ago, we approached the legislators and the governor's office, and we talked about the need to fund historic sites, preservation projects, help small businesses, community leaders prepare for the state centennial of Route 66, which will be in 2026. And so we worked with the governor's office and area legislators, and 2 years ago we received and got approved through the general fund at the state of Illinois $4 million in 2022 for projects from Chicago to the Chain of Rocks Bridge, and in 2023. And yesterday, the governor just signed the FY24 budget, and there's another $4 million for projects to support preservation efforts along Route 66. With the route turning 100 years old in 2026, several destination marketing organizations like ours, Choose Chicago, Visit Springfield, thought it was imperative that we find funding on an annual basis to support community projects, nonprofits, and business owners along the route. As you know, I know there's some small business owners here in the room. Travelers from all over the world love Route 66. You know, it's a bucket list trip, and it's a road trip of a lifetime. And I can tell you there will be increased travel as the state of Illinois and the Illinois Office of Tourism continues to promote Route 66 abroad, especially in our European markets. And in Illinois, we have more sites and attractions for travelers and groups to visit than any other state on the route from Chicago to the Santa Monica Pier. Since funding was announced from the Illinois Office of Tourism, the Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau has received more than $1.4 million in grant funds to support projects like the West End Service Station and additional projects in Edwardsville, Girard, Verdon, Carlinville, Litchfield, Staunton, Hamel, Livingston, Mount Olive, Gillespie, and Collinsville. And just recently, we announced another $100,000 grant to the city of Edwardsville for continued improvements along this corridor, and a $175,000 grant to the Edwardsville Children's Museum for a new Route 66 attraction. Great Rivers. You know, we're delighted to provide the visitor support here at the West End Service Station. As the mayor said, our visitor center specialist will be running the visitor center. It'll be open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I encourage you to stop in the gift shop afterwards. Sherry Hickman, everybody knows Sherry. She does an amazing job. She's designed some wonderful merchandise. Get your credit card out. No cash accepted, just credit card. But our team will ring you up and take home some merchandise. There's more merchandise coming. But again, I want to congratulate everybody in the city of Edwardsville on a wonderful job of this project, and we can't wait to see what happens in the future. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you again, Corey. Next, I would like to welcome S.J. Morrison to the lectern. If Corey and Great Rivers and Routes was the fuel, then S.J. was our spark plug. He had the vision for this from the beginning, and he kept his project firing on all cylinders. So let's welcome S.J.
Man, I'm loving this. Getting a lot of love this morning. From 1936 to 1962, the room that you are standing in was a service station, a place where you could have gotten fuel and oil changes and valves grinded and tire rotations and all of those other things, even a wash and a wax. And I learned that there was a short time where they would actually go pick up your car at your house, do the work, and deliver it back to your home, which is incredible. It was also a place where you could often find a ball game on the radio, where you could find locals and regulars gossiping and sharing local news and plenty of opinions. And apparently there was cold beer in the Coke machine. So as Jim Doley told me, I think Jim may be here actually somewhere, his dad Hank owned the West End Service Station from 1948 to 1959. Jim said they served all walks of life, lawyers, laborers, and everybody in between. Now, you may be thinking, aren't there hundreds, if not thousands, of little gas stations and service stations along Route 66? And of course, the answer is yes, there are, or there were. In fact, there were probably more than a dozen in Edwardsville alone. But the fact is, they're all gone. At this point, they're all gone. And so this is literally one of the last remaining original Route 66 service stations in nearly 60 miles. And for that matter, it's one of Edwardsville's few remaining Route 66 landmarks at all. So it's incredibly important that we have saved it and that we have breathed new life into it. Just a quick note about historic preservation, which is near and dear to my heart. I know it's almost a little cliche, but saving places from our past is important because it not only tells interesting stories about Edwardsville's history, but these places also remind us who we were and what we valued, and maybe even help us think about where we're going. These historic structures add texture and character to our city. They create a space for community building, for culture making. In some cases wouldn't be possible otherwise. They keep our community interesting, and as the great late Jane Jacobs said, new ideas happen in old buildings. Now, I have no memory of this place as a service station for all of my life and for nearly all of my parents' lives. It was a dentist office. And here's my pun, giving new meaning to the term filling station. That's my only one. In fact, it was my dentist's office for 30 years. Yesterday, this is great. Yesterday, a reporter asked me, what kind of person goes through all this trouble to save their childhood dentist office? Wouldn't most people want to see them get bulldozed? I said, that's probably true, but most people didn't have Dale Clausen as their dentist. Dale and Becky Clausen are here. Dale bought this building in the early 1980s. 82, and owned it through 2018, and lovingly shepherded this building and their practice here for all of those years, taking such great care of this building, preserving it for this very moment. So thank you, Dr. Clausen and Becky. The mayor and Corey mentioned lots of folks. They're absolutely right. This wouldn't have been possible without the support of Mayor Art Rizvi, who from the very beginning thought this was a great project. And from our Edwardsville City Council, we have a couple of council members here today, Jack Burns and Elizabeth Grant, I know who's also here, who was supportive of the project. But there's a lot of great ideas, as I mentioned this morning to Pat, but it takes resources to get them done. And that wouldn't have been possible without Corey Job and Great Rivers and Routes, who said, I know just the thing. And we found the grant funds to make this happen. There's a lot of fantastic city staff. Gosh, we've got some great staff, don't we? That continue to come alongside my harebrained ideas and the harebrained ideas of other aldermen, not just me. And make them happen. So thank you, Kathy. Thank you, James. Thank you, Matt Tall, who never says no. It's always, we're gonna get done. And many others, Kevin, Nate Tingley, Devin, so many talented staff. Jamie Henderson, fantastic job on this design. Another wonderful project, Millennium Construction. Sherry Hickman, who is the unsung hero of making our community look good. She did all of these graphics. She did the West End Service Station logo with that wonderful red bow tie that we love. All of the merch. This is maybe my favorite Sherry Hickman logo. I told her that. And she's done a lot of great logos and design work for the city. A couple of other folks. Rich Berry. Where are you, Rich? Rich, who lives in the neighborhood, poked and prodded a lot about we need to save that place. It's incredibly important that we save the West End service station. It matters. It's a historic landmark and so on and so forth. Thank you, Rich, for staying on me and making sure that we did this. I want to thank Dr. Rebecca Dunn, our neighbor next door, for all of her support and assistance. As you know, there isn't a lot of parking around here, so we've had to work closely with Dr. Dunn. Cheryl Eicherjet and Cindy Reinhardt for all of their historical support, and the Madison County Historical Society. Candace Ladd is here. Candace, wave if you would. Candace's dad built this building in the late 1930s and was one of the owners of the West End service station, and he is pictured on our entry wall here, Earl Ladd. So Candace, thank you for your contributions and your words. Jim Doley, Jim, if you are here, and I'm not sure if you are, but thank you for all of your great stories about your dad. And those who knew Hank Doley knew he was a bit of a character. But we're grateful for those stories. And of course, my family, thank you guys for putting up with another fun project. The West End service station was slated for demolition several times. It was on the state letting for demolition multiple times. And I would ring Eric up and say, Eric Williams, we've got to call the state, and he would. And we would pull it off again, off the state bid list. This building shouldn't be here. This should be gravel and or nothing. But instead, it's this wonderful local landmark and visitor center and community space. We want this to be a community space. Look at with the doors and all this great. It really is a fantastic space. Every time there was an obstacle that popped up, it's like they just melted away. I don't know if it was the universe, divine intervention, Rich Berry making threats. I don't know. No, the real reason that this station was saved and renovated is a very common story here in Edwardsville. That is that there are so many people who love this place and are constantly working for its good. And the result is another Edwardsville landmark saved, another great local destination to visit, and another reason for our residents to love where they live. So thank all of you for your help.
Thanks, SJ. Thank everyone. Thank you all for coming today. I want to mention that we have available for you coffee from 222 Artisan Bakery, and we have cookies from Creations by Kiki. But before I let you go to enjoy and explore the center, let's officially get our West End service station journey started by gathering for a ribbon cutting courtesy of the Chamber. And thank you all for coming. Let's give everyone a round of applause.